Hey guys, Red Jacket Realty here. Today we're going to talk with Wesley Price with Price Right Termite. Basically, we just want you guys to be aware of what to be looking out for when buying a house as a buyer in Alabama. Termites are very prevalent here in Alabama. So I want to bring an expert in on the matter to kind of talk us through it.
Termites, they get worse year by year, and I've been in this business for several years. We actually are in the top 10 in termites, and I get it all the time. You know, why are we paying this extra $200 or $300 to get a termite contract? We don't need it, but every 2 to 3 houses that we go to have got some history with termites. From Formosa termite, dampwood termites, subterraneans are number one. And subterranean termites, they're 4 to 18 inches under the ground, and those colonies can range up to 100 feet from their center. So let's say your neighbor has termite activity and you live within 100 foot of them. It's very, very possible that they could actually be eating your house as well. So, you know, it's always good to get that wood infestation inspection report. Regardless if you looked at it and you feel like there's nothing, there's no damage, you need to let somebody that knows what they're looking for, because you can miss the smallest thing. Going back about 9 years ago, Ag and Industries quit allowing us to refer to them as termite bond. It's basically the same thing, but they make us call it a termite contract because it gives people, when they thought of bond, they thought of this impenetrable barrier, and that's not what it is. We put the chemical out, whether it's bait stations, Trelona, or a liquid treatment, and we do that barrier, and we come out yearly, and you know, we check the house every year, make sure that we're keeping the termites away from your house. And with that contract, if you have no previous damage, your house is insured against termites. So if you get damaged, we're going to come in there and give you a replacement contract. Another thing with the wood infestation inspection report, it does not just cover termites. It covers termites, it covers powder post beetles, it covers wood decaying fungi. There's so many different wood destroying organisms out there, lactitic beetles, avioid beetles.
So that wood infestation report, a lot of people, you were telling me earlier, look at it and just say, oh, it's just they're looking for termites, but you're saying that there's stuff on there that as a homeowner you should be looking out for as well. On that.
And it actually states it in there, and we look at everything. We're not just checking for termites, we're checking for everything. We're checking for a water leak, we're checking for moisture levels, you know, anything over 20%. You know, a home has to have ventilation under a crawl space. So you're looking anything over 20%, you're checking your ventilation. You got to have 1.5 square foot per 100 square foot of crawl space. Number two, a lot of people say, well, I'm on a slab house, I don't need it. I find just as many termites on a slab house as we do on a crawl space.
I think that you're closer to the ground, you'd be more likely to get termites added.
That's correct, you know, because, you know, when we do termite contracts, they tell you never to put a contract on a house that the crawl space is 18 inches or closer.
We have a lot of issues with that,
But when you build a house and you're on termite, everybody has seen a termite, a slab or carport somewhere that's got a crack in it. Those termites come through that crack just as easy as they can anywhere else. When you build a house, when you do your bathroom, and when you do your sink, all your penetrations through the concrete, they put that box in there and they fill it up with gravel and they pour the concrete around it, and then they mount the toilet. They come up through that. So there's all kind of penetrations under that concrete that you can have problems with. So just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Well, I have another question. It's a little bit off base, but we were talking about slab homes and we're talking about crawl spaces. Here in Birmingham or in Alabama in general, you have the houses that are made out of the stucco and the drive. I hear that termites are more prevalent in that potentially.
They are. It is more conducive to termites because they have to go to the ground to get their moisture. That's where they live. Like when we do a treatment on the ground, you know, we're going to kill the termites over a period of time because they're coming back into the soil. That's where they live. You take styrofoam, how they build these stucco and these drive at home. If you've got a coffee cup that's made of styrofoam and you pour water into it, it doesn't dry out. So if you get a leak in a home, like in a wall or your roof, and it retains moisture, the termite colony, they can build their colony inside that styrofoam and never go back to the ground. So when we treat, we're doing nothing. They're living up in the structure. So then we have to go in there and do more invasive treatments like foaming the walls, or doing a full fumigant which could cost tens of thousands of dollars to treat versus $1,000, $1,500 to treat if we have to go in there and do a treatment. And it's a lot cheaper on top of that to do a treatment and go ahead and do it when you buy your house, because just like myself, my company, Price Right Pest and Termite, we're going to give the realtor a huge discount for their wood infestation and their termite contract. You're going to be spending a lot less money by doing it up front versus calling us later when you have termites, because if we get out there and you've got termites, you can be charged $2,000 or $3,000 for a treatment. Let's say the smallest colony you have out there, which ranges around 60,000 per colony on termites, they consume about 1 pound of wood per 24 hours. 1 pound. So every 4 to 6 months, a normal colony is consuming an entire 2x4 in your house.
Oh my God.
And that's just a small colony. You know,
and it just happens like that.
And it just happens like that. It's overnight, and you'll never know they're there. I've had people that says, we don't have termites. And I go up and you can look, because they eat the paper off the back of the sheetrock, but they won't come to the paint. And I had a person that said they didn't have no termites, and they had this big, beautiful painting on a wall. And where they had drove the nail in to hang the picture frame, they come through that nail hole and eat the whole backing off of the picture frame. And when I pulled the picture frame off, termites went everywhere. So if you're not letting somebody that does this every day do it, then you're not going to know what's going on, because I can absolutely look at a wall, and all of my technicians can look at a wall and tell if it's got termites, because they pull moisture from the ground up through their galleries. And if you hold the light on sheetrock just right, you can see the color in the paint. That's the reason the number one tool that a technician carries in the pest professional world is a flashlight. You know, when we go under a home, we're going to catch stuff. We may find stuff that they missed, and and we're going to let the agent know, and then the agent's going to let you know, and they're going to let the seller know, and y'all going to be able to take care of that before you actually purchase the house.
Now, you were talking earlier about how it's $2,000 to come when there's active termites, but how much is it to just get like a wood infestation report, termite bond, or contract?
The whole shebang is around $325, as long as it's under 250 linear foot. So basically a house under 2,600 square foot, it's $325. The buyer pays for the wood infestation report, and the seller's paying for the termites. Basically, it's just costing you half of that $325, which is nothing.
Compared to $2,000, yeah, that's really nothing. Or to walk away, even because as a buyer, you don't have to buy the house. You can just say, oh, there's termites, and you can walk away, and unfortunately, the seller now has a decision to make on what they're going to do.
It's not a matter of if you're going to get termites, but when. It's always when, because per acre of property in Alabama, this covers the whole state, there are 28 termite colonies per acre of property in the entire state. That's right. So there's a colony where we're sitting up under the ground somewhere.
That's crazy.
I mean, they're out there.
Now, are those numbers increasing or decreasing?
They're increasing. And another thing, you think about, if there was no such thing as termites, you couldn't walk through the woods today.
So to recap, wood infestation report covers more than just termites. It covers multiple funguses and other...
all wood-destroying organisms.
All wood-destroying organisms. It's cheaper to go ahead and get the wood infestation report and the termite inspection on the front end than it is to just buy a house without it.
And you don't have to worry. A lot of people try to upcharge people, but like with our company, if you ever have a question, you can always say, hey, can you go show me this? If you're willing to crawl your house. Even my company, I've done it time and time again. We will take you under there. We will show you. We will explain it to you, and you will be able to see it with your own eyes. Yeah. And I mean, when I bought my house, I inspected it, and then I sent one of my technicians to inspect it before I bought my own house. Everybody needs it.
Well, Wesley, thank you so much for your time. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got something from it. Again, this is Wesley Price with Price Right. We're going to put his information in the description below. And if you guys have any questions or want to see more of this kind of stuff, reach out to us and let us know. Thank you.
Thank you.